don't ruffle the feathers like your mom used to wash your hair. You always, if you're going to pet the bird, you're going to pet it the way the feathers grow in the same direction, right? So when you're feeling the heart girth, you can now use your arm, bring the bird out away from your body, okay? Just hold on to her.
Yep.
And then you can take your other hand and feel the heart girth right there.
Yep.
Now the wider the better on that. Okay, you want good heart girth. That means she's got width back here for all of that. Okay, all right. And then you can go back and you just kind of got to feel around. You might get a little poo-poo on your hand.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You're gonna go like this. Now you can see that vent. She's got a little bit of. This is probably a lot of protein or something, with her feet. But so there you go. You see the vent. And then those two pubic bones. You don't have to go up inside of her vent. Just one on each side. You can feel them.
I can. Yeah.
Okay. And then if you want,
and they're like maybe only a finger and a half wide or something.
Yeah. Depending on the size of your finger, I can fit about 2 in there.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So once you feel that, then you can hand the bird to somebody else.
All right.
Okay?
And you're pretty much squeezing, right?
I was holding her pretty firm. She kind of kicked just almost for a second.
No, it's, I don't know exactly, but it could be.
Related to the shell production?
No. Most likely it's just some watered down manure.
Yeah, and it was kind of a leap of faith for me to reach out, hold her out in front of me.
So you said this direction?
Yep, you're doing great. So you don't have to pull her tail up. You actually can just reach your fingers down there and kind of use your fingers and spread.
So
you don't have to.
Basically right here.
That's correct. Okay. Yep. And so there's her vent, obviously, and then these two bones are right here. You just feel around, you'll feel them. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Very distinct.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Look at our body as a stewardship.
Right.
Where we need to only put in our body what's good for us and have balance.
Yeah.
And also we need to work on our thought life.
Yes.
And not be worrying and fussing. I wanted to tell her, a little dysfunctional, but I still love you. But I just said, oh, that's fine, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if we say we want to have a sweet spirit and God fills with your spirit, then He might test us. Hey, but it could have been a lot worse.
Right. We get the chance to see whether we're really meeting our moment.
And do we trust God to really be loving in through us?
Right. It is so fun.
God has made so many beautiful chickens. All that have done this, all that DNA and that potential variation was not in there in the first place. It's fabulous.
I'm gonna have to keep
listen
moving.
up. You can continue to play with the birds, but I want us to work our way down towards the chicken house that's just down the hill there. Let's walk down there together. I got one. Come on down. You can bring the birds with you.
Yeah, that's good.
Ideally, on a male, this big bird, I'd like to see a little more than a bigger one there. Two, no idea. And four ideally.
Yeah, it's cartilage, I guess.
In a minute, I'll turn you loose to go take a closer look at the coop. I'll wait for those.
Get him, chicken.
Now I'm gonna, while we're waiting for the few, there was somebody asked me something about handling. Somebody asked, so what about when you're catching them? You know, typically, now these birds, they're not too wild. One, because of the breeds that they are, but also because Rocco comes out here with them, so he interacts with them. And probably, Harvey, you experience that too, huh? Your birds, because you're with them, they're not all overly flighty. So, Harvey, how would you, if they were going to try and catch some of these chickens right now at their own place, what would you tell them to do?
Well, it depends on how laid back they are. But if they're not too flighty, you can sidle up to them and grab for the feet. And another option is
Oh, just in case you've never seen that before.
and another option is a net.
That fast?
Yeah. And then he said the other option's a net. Okay. Nets sometimes are very, very necessary. Does that planned or did that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So.
And some people use a crook on the end of a long.
Yep. And hook their leg. All right. So you got to be a little creative when it comes to catching the birds. I'll tell you the best time. You can let her go. The best time when they go to roost. You know, chickens. You ever seen one wander at night? They're all like, hey, you know, and they can't see. So a good time. You need to catch your birds when it's on the roost. Okay. Now, when you go to put them down, let me just encourage you that, you know, if I'm holding you up, you know, at 8 feet, you don't want me to drop you. So I'm gonna go as low as the ground. Now he's been pinned up, so you're gonna see a little bit of maybe some excitement on his part. But I'm gonna put him right on the ground and just let him go. He's a good, docile Buckeye. Now I don't know who the pecking order is out of these males, but so what you have here, this is a silver phoenix. That's that breed. And they're very, very, very common in the exhibition world, as you can imagine. But he's a smaller bird, obviously. And they're not a lot of meat on that bird, but they are a good egg producer. And he does have, has a white earlobe. So what color egg does he lay? Very good. Sort of white. That's right. Okay? Yeah, so her question is, and Pat's down there. Okay, so her question is, a lot of times in your flocks, the birds look pecked over, like feathers off the back of their heads and so forth. Okay, and why do these not look that way? Okay, couple things come to mind. All right, one is some of these birds are younger, and they're moving into their egg production time, so they haven't been in heavy production. Okay. What else might you add to that, Harvey? Why these don't look all messed up?
Heavy production messes you up.
Well, go ahead.
If they're being mated a lot by the cock,
they're being mated a lot. Okay, so if you have heavy amount of male birds, the backs will lose feathers, and all around the neck or around the head they'll lose feathers. Okay, remember this though. This is really important. A good producing hen will not look very good. Okay? She works hard to produce an egg for you. The hens are like, hey, just kind of thinking they want to be on the beach somewhere, and they're not losing feathers, and they're not moving. There's not much production there. And I get calls, hey, I hardly have a feather on my chicken's body. What should I do? But it's still laying eggs. Let her keep laying eggs. There's nothing wrong with her. Don't call your vet. You know, you don't need to. But, and so these birds, about how many hens do you have out here?
65, 70.
About 65 or 70 birds. And about how many eggs might you be getting?
Right now I'm getting 45 to 50 a day.
Okay, so he's getting good production out of these birds right now. Okay, that can be partly husbandry, can be the quality of the birds, it could be the weather. All of those factors play a part in that.
And the fact they're still getting a lot of natural farming.
That's exactly right. And and as Harvey said, they're getting a lot of forage out here, and nutrition and bugs and so forth. Rocco, why don't you just comment? I want him to explain to you, so do these birds run like this? You don't put the fence up?
I don't put the fence up. These birds run like this. I drag this around with the tractor wherever I want it. I do have a few cattle. I'm trying to get it to where the birds follow the cattle, pick through the manure. It's a little tricky because I want the dung beetles for fertility, but I don't want fly larvae, so I'm trying to get it about 3 to 4 days. I have a fence. As y'all probably all saw, there's a fence up there when I came in. That's pretty much just for display. Originally, these were all fenced. If I'm moving cattle every day, and dragging this thing, I do not want to mess with that fence every day. Once a week, no problem. Once every couple weeks, whatever, no problem. But I don't want to mess with that fence every day. So this is kind of home base. The food's in here, the water's right there, the laying boxes are in there, the roosts are in there, they spend the night in there. This is pretty much home base, and they don't go too far.
So what about, tell them about predators. What predators? Obviously your chickens are running amok, so do you have coyotes, raccoons, hawks?
During the day, I don't really have any worries. That may be different on your farm or in your yard. I got a huge road right here. I don't have a lot of coyotes, I don't have a lot of fox. At night, I do. I won't tell you any gruesome stories. Shut your door. Don't forget to shut the door. Don't fall asleep. Shut your door.
So you lock your birds up at night?
They all go in there. They're all
every
trained.
night?
Every night. All I got to do, meet them halfway. It's real easy. All you got to do is come down here and shut the door. I do have hawks. I bite the bullet on a hawk. I have hawks. I got to deal with it. I don't lose a lot of chickens. Maybe 5, maybe 8 a year to a hawk. A quick note. Maybe we can discuss this real quick, Harvey or Jim. If you'll have a little diversity in your flock, and also roosters are good for this. And I had a big goose, and a hawk often doesn't want to mess with a goose. If a hawk flies by and a rooster's out here, he'll look up and see that, and he'll make this cute little particular noise, and we'll all book it right inside the house.
How many of you have seen that before? All right. Yeah.
Now, having said that, my goose now thinks he's a cow and he's over in the hole. We'll talk to him about it. If you can get a goose that'll stick around, it'll help.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to reinforce what Rocco said on those 2 points. And I really want to emphasize shutting the birds up at night. If I had to say the single most important management thing you can do to minimize predation, that's it. It means that you won't have the losses to the big owls, and even with the hawks. In my experience, a lot of those hits were early in the morning, and if I could keep the birds shut up until I got out there to feed in the morning, the hawk had gone elsewhere looking for breakfast, and he did not come back. So, and of course, most of your wild natural predators are, like foxes and raccoons, they are nocturnal. So that is the single most important thing. One very significant daytime predator is your neighbor's dog. Dogs operate during the day, and they can be a serious predator indeed. And I will second what Rocco said about mixing it up out on the pasture. I have seen geese on my pasture with my chickens drive away a hawk in mid-air. And also a mother hen out there with her chicks. I have seen one of my Old English game hens kick butt for a hawk who was trying to grab one of her babies. She chased him right over the fence. And that guy, all he could think about was finding something to do somewhere else, anywhere else. Also, some people who have tried having maybe a single turkey with a flock. Turkeys can be fairly fierce against hawks.
When you say you keep your chickens up at night, are they